CQ. Hello, CQ. CQ, the old friends net. Time for the Tuesday edition of the old friends get together. This is W4MEC, your net control for today. And we got it back up there. Old Friends Net meets 3 times a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 a.m., Sundays at 5 p.m. It's always the same frequency, 3715. Always the same mode, amplitude modulation, and anybody that can generate an AM signal is welcome to join us. This is carried out in a roundtable fashion. I'll take check-ins a couple times throughout the net, make sure we catch everybody, and get you seated and talking. So, also a great place to sell something, look for something, or information, or whatever. So, let's get started with check-ins. Those wishing to participate, please give W4MEC a call. Come now.
WA4LLR.
N4LQ.
ARK.
I got Buddy and I got a double. Who's with the other station?
N4LQ.
WB4NKL.
W4DCS.
Station. Somebody else was Buddy WB4ARK, Cliff WB4NKL, and Doug W4DCS. Who's up, miss?
W4DDN. How about the double?
Got you, George. Anybody else? Okay. George will be tail end George today. So far, we one more time, LLR, LQ, ARK, NKL, DCS, and GDN. So good morning, fellas, and it's balmy 42 degrees here, clear skies, beautiful outside. Barely just got back from bringing the wife down to the YMCA, yep. And let's see, not a whole lot going on here. The big activity today is to go get her, take her to the hairdresser, and our vehicle, our Suburban, may be done today. We'll get a call later today. They were very close. So, and then the shocking part of the deal will appear, which is having to pay for all that, and it's going to be pricey. So. I have to go back to selling blood and buying lottery tickets, I guess. So let's get started. Dave, WA4LLR on the group, W4MEC.
All right, good morning, Charlie and the net. This is WA4LLR, where we have 35 degrees and clear skies. Running the ART13 this morning and the R390A. And I have a tragedy. My Hewlett-Packard rack-mounted Nixie tube frequency counter has given up the ghost. So I started to check my frequency on this rig this morning and fired it up. Lo and behold, I've just got a bunch of random numbers, and it doesn't matter what function I try. It's decided that it does not want to cooperate. So that's been my favorite counter for many years now. And whether or not a fella can get that thing going is going to be a miracle. Anyway, that's my tale of woe for the day. Steve, down to you, N4LQ, WA4LLR.
Okay, WA4LLR in the group, N4LQ. Well, sorry to hear about the Nixie counter. That's an unusual device, and I wouldn't mind having one of those too. I'm not sure what the first Nixie tube thing I saw was. I think Signal One had a very expensive transceiver for a while, but I can't remember if it used Nixie tubes or LED readout. I had a watch that had an LED readout that's 8 batteries, pretty bad, back when they first came out with digital watches, as I recall. Anyway, I am running the Challenger and driving the amp to about 300 watts and the horizontal loop and the Drake 2A receiver. And I'm just about ready to pull the Challenger out and stick something else in place of it. And I'm thinking maybe the LMAC AF68 maybe will be next and give it some air time. So, buddy, it's yours, WB4ARK, N4LQ.
N4LQ, WB4ARK. All right, Steve. Well, looks like the weather here is 45 degrees in Lake Wiley, and we're transmitting on the KWS-1 again this morning, and looks like we're running about 210 watts or something like that going out to the antenna. So the Davis RF company that you so kindly tipped me off on has shipped my wire. It should be here imminently, 100 feet, and so we'll get that installed pretty soon, as soon as it comes in. The Nixie tube counter, sorry to hear about that, Dave. I've got one that I built in 1970 that is on right now, and it's a nice unit. Yeah, I have a Nixie tube clock also, which works pretty good, but it's a little bit difficult to set. Yeah, they didn't give you any instructions on how to program the thing, how to set the. So you have to go through it a little bit at a time with the buttons, and finally get it to the right position, and you can get it set. It's a little difficult to do. So I think I said it was 45 degrees, so we'll turn it over to WB4NKL. This is WB4ARK.
Okay, buddy, WB4ARK. It's WB4NKL. I'm with Dave on the temperature. Got 35 degrees here, and I hadn't been out to see if there's any, could be a little frost laying around, I guess. It's dark when I come out here to the shack. Sorry about the counter, Dave. I've got a Nixie tube, the one of Heathkit's. I guess it was probably their first counter, an IB 1103. It still works. It's got a pretty accurate time base in it. It's a fairly good counter. If yours is doing random numbers, I don't know if it's got a time base switch or something. You might try flipping it back and forth. Sometimes they don't see their time base. They'll display random stuff, so you might check it, see if there's a switch, or I know a lot of the counters got a switch where you can run an external time base, and if they get a little dirty, that switch, they'll be trying to run without a time base. Got a dentist appointment here at 10 for a 6 months cleaning checkup. Not looking forward to that, but not too much else going on today. Go ahead, Doug. W4DCS, WB4NKL.
Okay, Mr. Cliff, WB4NKL. W4DCS, and I'm on the Harvey Wells into the SP220, and yeah, I don't have any Nixie tube devices. They are very cool though. I'd love to have one, and just a really cool display. And buddy, the KWS-1 sounds great. Doing great. That's a really nice rig you got there. I've toyed with the idea of picking one of those up, but never did it, and probably never will. I got too many rigs. I need to get rid of some of them. But anyways, yeah, I've got a couple of the multi-Helmax, Steve. I haven't had them on the air. I've got the 67 and the 68 with the receivers. They're neat little rigs. They sound good. So, anywho, copying everybody pretty good. Not sure about Glenn, but let's give him a try. K4GDN, W4DCS. Good morning, sir.
W4DCS, well put, K4GDN, and I'm copying everybody real well this morning. We're in the multi-Helmax OS 67. About 7 watts to the home boy, 11 linear, getting about 125 watts out, receiving on a PMR level. It was about 50 degrees at 7 o'clock here this morning, and I got the electric heater in the shack going to break the chill. And that was an interesting antenna transfer relay design that I think was Steve put up. Just curious, what kind of power can those relays handle? I know the ones that I've always built, I've used motor controller relays, or 1.5, 2 horsepower motors, which have contacts about the same size as those that Johnson used in the match boxes. And I just wonder what kind of power handling capability they have. As far as weather here, it's clear. The sky is blue outside, but we do get a little chilly, but it's supposed to heat up, play a role today, and I think it's going to be about like that the rest of the week. It's about as, it has gotten down into the upper 40s here the last 2 nights or so, but other than that, things are about like they are at the beach. Anyway, with that, I'll pass it back to you, Charlie. W4ABC in the group, K4GDN.
Very good, George. K4GDN, the group. Good signal, George. W4MEC. Any further check-ins? Come now.
KZ4 Bravo.
Well, knowledge, John. Anybody else? Okay, John, you'll come after George next time, then turn it over to me, but right now go ahead and make a transmission and turn it back to me. KZ4B, W4MEC.
W4MEC in the group, KZ4B, fine business, Charlie. Conditions seem to be quite good today. I got in about the time that Buddy picked it up, and signals from then on have been excellent. So, good day. And looks like we got a little bit of rain, just a smidge. I guess it was Saturday night and late, but not any more after that. But we'll take what we can get and run with it. And we're on the usual, the T150 and the Ameritron AL82, driving the a resonant dipole up about 75 feet at the apex on our crank-up tower. So that's a setup here. We're just, a cold snap supposedly came through, and it has been chillier than it has been earlier, but it's not that bad of a cold snap. We did get out and drive our new lawnmower around the block, And so life is good. What can I say? So back to you, Charlie. W4MEC in the group, KZ4B over.
Okay, John, KZ4B in the group W4MEC. Any other check-ins? Okay. It's W4MEC and the old friends net. Real good, fellas. Good signals all around. Notice the static crashes. I was looking at Blitzo run earlier. There's a storm over western Mississippi, but it doesn't, every time that acknowledges a strike, it doesn't always hear it in the radio, so maybe it's the more powerful strikes get heard, I don't know. And there's storms all over the southeast down in the Gulf or in that area, and Mexico and all that was hits, but I don't know if that's it or not. Yeah, the counter with the bad time base gone bad. I wonder if it's the random numbers are running or just frozen. We used to play poker with those things. Of course, the old neon. If you remember the old neon counters, they had modules that went from 0 to 9, and they were all side by side. Normally vertically, 0 at the bottom, 9 at the top, and or the other way around, I don't remember. But anyway, if you turn the time base off, the numbers would just run. And as soon as you turn the time base on, you would get a locked-on number. And that was your poker hand. So, and whoever lost had to go buy the Cokes. So, let's see, what else? And if you give up on that counter, Dave, K4 Sugar Victor will gladly buy it from you. He is a Nixie tube-aholic. And you ever see him, he says, you got any Nixie tubes? You know, got any tubes? You got anything with Nixie tubes in it? He's sort of nutty about that and don't understand why. But he does like Nixie tube anything. So think of him if you give up on it. What else we got here? I think that's all I can remember for this round. WA4LLR, W4MEC.
All right. Fine business, Charlie. Well, part of the time it sits there locked up, and part of the time it doesn't. But either way, you never do get a reading that makes any sense. So I don't know. I'll keep that in mind for sure. Now, let's see here. Sound like you're a real go-getter today, Charlie. You're going to have to take her and go get her. Steve, the Challenger sounds good. And, buddy, I like the sound of that KWS-1. Cliff, sorry about the dentist. Doug, the Harvey Wells is doing a good job for you. And good morning to you, George. You're a little light on me, but still copyable. And good morning, John. That 150 is always doing a super good job for you. Well, let's see what else is going on around here. Not too much. Got to go do some propane work. A fellow that I've done some work for years back calls and said, can you please come and help me get this set of logs going? So I guess that's what I'll be doing today. Anyway, I noticed that today is Comet Lemon's closest approach. Supposedly the best viewing after sunset in the kind of in the northwest. They say it's about naked eye visibility if you use your imagination a little. It looks pretty good in binoculars or something. Space weather. Sunspot count's 109. Solar flux index is 140, and the K is 1.67. And I did a little listening yesterday, and boy, 25 megahertz WWV was blasting. It was really strong, and there was quite a bit of DX on 10 meters and 12. Let's see, a few items from this day in history. On this day in 1520, Magellan discovered the passageway that now bears his name down around Tierra del Fuego. one of my famous relatives, Dizzy Gillespie, trumpet player, was born on this day in 1917. Also, Benjamin Netanyahu was born on this day in 1949. Let's see, in 1966, a landslide of mining waste destroyed a school in Welch Village, killing 144 people. On this day in 1960 was the final debate between John F. Kennedy and Richard Nixon in the presidential election of 1960. On this day in 1833, a fellow by the name of Alfred Nobel was born, who invented dynamite and other powerful explosives, more powerful explosives. He was born in Stockholm. And on this day in 1797, the USS Constitution, one of the first frigates built by the Navy, was launched in Boston. It later became known as Old Ironsides. So, down to you, Steve, N4LQ, WA4LLR.
WA4LLR, N4LQ. I was wondering if Nobel got the Nobel Prize for that explosive invention. Very interesting. Well, I sent an email out in response to Charlie's link to the oscilloscope collector. That's an impressive sight, looking at all those scopes. And the guy apparently is obsessed with old oscilloscopes and has thousands of them. But his wife is the strange one. He had a link to her website, and she is a person that spends has a career of communicating with dogs, or, well, mostly dogs, but virtually any animal. And she can do it over the phone and charges $100 an hour. Or no, $100 for half an hour. Yeah, half an hour. And she can communicate with your dead dog or dead pet or whatever, and do it long distance over the phone. So you have to fill a form out and pay her in advance, and then she will call you, and she says do not use a speakerphone. She wants a direct connection because she can get the vibes better that way from your dead pet, and that way you can talk to your pet and find out how it's doing. Well, there's one in every crowd, I guess. Buddy, real fine on your Davis RF wire. I'm anxious to see how that works out. I've seen them advertised for years. I never have ordered any wire from them, but I suspect they may be the source of wire for other people, and I've wondered where a wireman gets his wire. Maybe it's from them. I don't know. And Doug, your Harvey Wells sounds good, and Cliff, hope your dentist appointment goes smoothly and they don't find anything unusual. And let's see, George asked about the TR switch I built here. Those relays are, I think they're rated for 10 amps at 250 volts. But keep in mind, this is switching the driver. It's not switching the amplifier. So that's all. The amplifier's got its own relay, so it never sees any more than about 40 watts or something like that. It's really not a problem. I did build one using those small, little bitty Chinese relays, and one of them must have burned out or something. But I think these will be okay. So with that, I think that's about all I've got, so I'll turn it over to Buddy on the KWS-1, which is sounding good this morning. WB4ARK, N4LQ.
N4LQ, WB4ARK. Well, yeah, it looks like I'm running a little bit less than 200 watts. I've got to boost my output up. It drops just a little bit after it's been on for a while. Well, Charlie, your poker playing incident reminded me of a situation that I had when I was much younger. There was a service station close to our house, and I would go up there, change my oil. They let me do about anything I wanted to do, as long as I didn't hog the rack too much. Anyhow, there was a mechanic there, and he and I were very good friends, and we many times played travel on the Coke machine. So this was one of those automatic machines. You put the money in, the Coke came out, and we would bet on whoever had the furthest. This is when Coke bottles were glass bottles, and on the bottom was a city where it came from, where it was manufactured. And so we would bet on who got the furthest away, and that person had to pay for the Cokes. So anyhow, I caught him rigging the machine one day. So that was the end of that. Anyhow, well, let's see what else we got. The Nixie counter tubes are very interesting, and I really like those, the way they look and the way they function. This counter has been sitting idle for a while until I brought it up about 2 or 3 years ago and started using it. But it's a very good unit. I guess that's about it for right now. So we'll turn it over to Cliff, WB4NKL, WB4ARK.
WB4ARK, it's WB4NKL. Good signals all the way around. The KWS-1 sounds good, buddy. And all the audio, all the rigs sound pretty good this morning. George is coming in pretty good conditions. I enjoyed that link there to his wife's site, Steve. I clicked on that. Pretty interesting. I wonder if she gets many takers on that. I forget what her term was, animal communicator, or I forget what she was called. But I guess it takes all kinds there. There was an article talking about the relays. I'll have to look back at the issue. There was an article in QST. It's probably a couple of years back. The guy was building a changeover relay, and he recommended some relays that were super fast. When you switch the power, I think it was even timed. When you switch an amplifier, they recommend the antenna being connected before the power is applied. But he had an article in there on building one of those, and relays he recommended that were as good as the vacuum relays, or as fast and power capable handling. And I think they were just cheap relays like Panasonic from Mauser, but I don't remember. I'll look that article up. But looked like I thought about building it back at the time. But like I say, if you're just switching low power, it don't make much difference anyway. Go ahead, Doug. W4DCS, WB4NKL.
Okay, Cliff. WB4NKL, W4DCS. Yeah, I built several CR switches here for my rigs. I like to homebrew whenever I can. Keeps me off the streets. one vet told me that dogs are the only ones that go to heaven. So, I mean, if that lady's saying she's communicating with cats or other animals, she's a fraud. Hi. So, but dogs go to heaven, and that's the deal. Talking about the poker and that, it reminded me of back in the 80s. I was working with Nortel, and we were doing a emergency transportable digital switching system in Japan. Earthquake mounted systems, and we were in a town about 50 miles south of Tokyo called Minami Kashiwa, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with pachinko machines, but the other guy that was working with me, he was like 6'4", and I'm about 6, and we went in this pachinko parlor, and they're crazy about baseball over there. Baseball, they call it. And they thought we were baseball players. So we're sitting there at these pachinko machines playing, and this guy comes over, and he goes in the little section that goes in between the machines. There's a wall there, and we hear him over the loudspeaker. Our comprehension for Japanese was not good, but we heard him talk Beisabaru, and all of a sudden we start winning. Balls are coming out like crazy, and interesting system. Gambling's illegal, so all the little balls come out, and you put them in a box, and there's an alley. About half a block away, you go down the alley, and there's a guy in the alley that buys the balls from you. So there you go. That's my story for today. I'm going to say 73 guys enjoyed it this morning. Steve, I'm sorry, Charlie, thanks for calling it, and we'll look for you guys down the line. George, here comes K4GDN, W4DCS.
W4DCS in the group, K4GDN. And signal's still coming in here real well in Myrtle Beach. And Steve, I was just curious about the relay. I know in the past, the PR transfer switches I've built, I've just used motor controller relays for about 1.5, 2 horsepower motors. But I've never really been controlling any high power, but they do have pretty good size contacts. And they work fairly quickly. I'm sure they're fast to relay, but I just use those. One thing that I was curious about too, though, and I also put transfer relays in my homebrew linear, and the other linears that I have also have transfer relays, so that will take care of that. But there is the thing that Johnson mentioned. I think it's in the instructions for the desk kilowatt. They talk about holding the antenna with the throttle for a few milliseconds after you stop transmitting to give the tank circuit time to discharge with the load still on it. So also incorporate that delay feature in the kilowatt matchboxes. They use a relay that hesitates a little bit coming out, and the way they do it is with it's actually a 110 volts input to the matchbox, but it's actually a DC relay with a half-wave rectifier, and the delay is caused by the bleed off of the capacitor. But I've never had a problem with that. I've never really been switching anything with high power, and when I had the Johnson 500, it had that feature built into it that you didn't have to worry about it. But anyway, I've really never heard of anybody having a problem with that, but I guess maybe in the early days it may have been. Other than that, like I say, I've just used motor controller relays. They do make a little bit of noise when they go, but that's really not a big problem. Everybody you see is coming in this way well this morning. I'm going to put 73 on this one, but I'm going to look at it. So I guess it goes to K4GDN.
Okay, K4GDN in the group, KZ4B, fine business, George. really good conditions today. Wintertime conditions without quite being wintertime. I like that combination. Interesting comments. I spent a fair amount of time in Japan because I worked for a Japanese company, and I did a lot of international travel, and I too would collect Coke bottles that had the name of the bottling or the location of the bottling company on the bottom. But in Japan, and Doug can comment on this, I don't recall seeing bottles in Japan. Everything was miniature. I mean, little people, everything was, it's like being in Lilliputian land. And they had these real tiny, they're like the little juice cans that you have here, only sometimes even smaller. And so everything was in cans that came out of these vending machines. And so, of course, you couldn't play that game because it didn't have the location on the can. But that really threw me off in Japan because it seemed like everywhere else they still had the small 6 or 7 ounce bottles. And so that made it pretty easy to collect. But in Japan it was all these micro-sized cans. Doug, if you were 6 feet and your buddy was 6'4", I don't know how you slept at night because all the motel beds, I'm only 5'11", and or was, I probably shrunk, but my feet would hang over the end by a considerable distance, so it was really tough. You had to curl up in a ball to sleep in any of their motels because everybody was so much shorter. And of course this is going way back to as far as 1975. As time moved on, things became more normal from a Western perspective. Let's see, what else was I going to comment on? Conditions really are pretty darn great today. And speaking of TR switches, I looked into, I don't think it cost me that much, but a new in the box 4 kW TR switch, mil-spec with N connectors, so you just put adapters for PL259, but it's rated for switching up to a transmitter with a 4 kW output, and that's what I plan on using as a TR switch on my broadcast transmitter. And it's a 24, 28 volt relay. So, I guess it goes back to Charlie, W4MEC and the group KZ4B, over.
Okay, John, we had somebody that doubled with you just when you, right after George. Who was that other station, W4MEC?
Charlie, that wasn't me. I think that was George still talking, but this is Brian, KN4R, remote from Gatlinburg. Good morning to everybody.
Yeah, between George and John, I got a carrier, because John is fast on the trigger there. So if that was you checking in, go ahead and make a transmission. You'll be after John next time, and turn it back to me when you're done, Brian. KN4R, W4MEC.
Yeah, okay, Charlie, very good. Good morning to everybody. Brian, KN4R, up in Gatlinburg, where it's about 40 degrees this morning, and everybody's sounding good up here. Hope the modulation's okay. Didn't change it from yesterday. Still running 25 watts. And yesterday the wife and I tried to go out to Case Coast, but the roads were packed, so we made it as far as the little center there to hit the bathrooms, and then we came back, but we saw plenty of country and plenty of pretty trees. The conditions aren't so great, but they're not too bad. And the best thing we did yesterday was have lunch at the Park Grill, which is a great restaurant, and their claim to fame on their salad bar are roasted oysters. So anyway, I won't hold it, but everybody's sounding good. So back to you, Charlie. W4MEC in the group, KN4R remote.
Okay, Brian, KN4R, W4MC. Are there any other check-ins? Okay, W4MEC, old friends. Okay, we got Doug out and and we got George out, but I'm not sure if Cliff's still there. He said he had a dentist appointment. But Cliff, take you a Tylenol before you go, and it'll help with anything they do to you. I always take one before I take an ibuprofen about an hour before I go, and if they're gonna slip or hit or do something nasty to you when you're cleaning, it doesn't hurt as much. So yeah, I bet this time of year all the leafers are out there, Brian, and I'm sure the traffic was obscene. So yeah, this is not the time to go driving around Western North Carolina. Let's see, what else? Yep, buddy, we did that too. The farthest I got, I can't remember if it was Hawaii or Guam one time. And I think it might have been Guam because everybody was amazed that they had a Coke plant in Guam, bottling plant. So, but it's amazing that, they used to make those bottles and they would wash them, clean them, put the new stuff in them, and cap them. And as they wore out or broke, they would make new ones right there in the factory. I guess they had a machine that could cast the bottles. And I'm sure it was pretty much automated, not a whole lot to making a bottle once you melt the sand. So now they just throw them away. And people make all these comments about the wasteful baby boomers and we're the cause of all that stuff. But we recycled everything. I mean, Coke's can got refilled. We got our radios fixed, and our toasters fixed, and our television fixed. We didn't throw them away when they broke. So, I don't know what happened there. So, let's see. What else we got here? I got something. Oh, that's that note. I can't read it. Doesn't matter. I scribble the notes down, and then I go back and look, and it's like in Sanskrit or something. So, so let's go back around. We got we got about 17 minutes, and we could make this an official 73 round if you want. And you can take lengthy 73s if you'd like to do it. WA4LLR in the group, W4MEC.
Okay. W4MEC. And the group, WA4LR. Well, good morning to Brian. Brian, you're sounding good on your remote. Just doing a great job up this way. Let's see here. 25 watts. Well, let's see. I'm on the R390A, so I only have a carrier level meter, and it's reading 60 dB when you transmit. So you're doing pretty good. Or I'd say real good for the 25 watts. Yeah, I've seen some of those sleeping conditions in Japan. Boy, they're designed for short folks, for sure. I don't have a whole lot here. I'm going to bow out and go in search of some breakfast. Charlie, you guys were talking about the lady that channels deceased critters. I tell you what, I guarantee you that she gets business. It's amazing what people will do. And the only comment the Bible makes about afterlife of animals is it says that a man's spirit goes upward or it returns to God who gave it, and it says the spirit of the beast goes down into the earth. So, you know, that comment that all dogs go to heaven, well, I don't know. I've had some that I would like to think made it, but there's not a whole lot of scriptural evidence that that's the case. Anyway, gentlemen, I've enjoyed it. Charlie, thanks for calling it. I'll say 7-3. God bless everybody. Have a great day, and Lord willing, we'll catch up with you on Thursday. So 7-3. N4LQ, WA4LLR.
WA4LLR, N4LQ. Yeah, there's some verse in the Bible about the heavenly city and the dogs, no dogs, or the dogs are without, or something that implies there's no dogs there, but I'm not sure if it meant people that act like dogs or just dogs. But you know, you're going to miss your dog, I guess, and people will pay anything to be able to talk to him again. But it'd be interesting to participate with her and just hear what she says. You know, it's got to be a fraud, but let's see, the relay question. One thing that you can think about is these relays that I use are all double pole, double throw. So one relay can do the antenna switching, and then the other pole could act as a switch to activate another relay to key the transmitter. You have to key the transmitter anyway with a relay, so just have it activated by the TR relay. So that way, when you close the mic, the first relay to close is your antenna, and then that one will close or activate the transmitter. That gives you a few milliseconds of delay. The problem is when you let off the mic, the first one to open will be the antenna. So the transmitter keeps transmitting for 15 milliseconds or whatever, and so it's got you going both ways. So I don't know. That gets into logic, and we don't have much of that here. All right. Well, it's been a fun net, and good to hear everybody, and hope to get some participants tonight on 160. We'll see y'all later. 73, and over to Buddy, WB4ARK, N4LQ.
N4LQ, WB4ARK. Okay, Steve. Sounds good. Charlie, I think George was still transmitting when John keyed up and took him out. A little bit heavy on too fast on the keying there, but he was still talking. I could not tell what he said, so I was hoping somebody else had heard him, but anyhow, my wife is in Myrtle Beach area, North Myrtle Beach, staying with a friend. Our friend just moved down there recently from here, and so my wife is actually going to be down there till Thursday. So she's in the, as George calls it, third world country. I don't know about that, but anyhow, I can see where he comes from there. So we'll say 73 at this point, and we'll hope for a good day on Thursday. And by the way, we had 0.28 inches of rain in the front that came through. And I tell you, it poured down, and I thought we were going to have a huge amount of rain, and it rained for about maybe 6 or 8 minutes. I mean, tremendous downpour, and then it just stopped. And it was 0.28 inches, so that was it. That's all the rain we got. So if George is not there, I guess it's going to go to, who was next? I don't know. Well, Doug. I think Doug is still in there. W4DCS, WB4ARK.
Is Cliff still there?
Yeah, still here. I'll make this the last one, 73 round, but and Brian was sounding good on the remote from down the road. So 20, I think he said running 25 watts, good signal. And Steve, easy way to put the delay in those is a couple of diodes and an electrolytic capacitor across the one that you want to operate slow, and then isolate them with the 2 relays if you got separate ones with the diodes, and you can control how much delay with what value capacitor you put across the one you want to slow it, the antenna relay. I'll say 73's enjoyed it, and thanks for calling it, Charlie. Go ahead, Doug. W4DCS, WB4NKL.
Okay, I signed, but I'm still here. Hey, I wanted to give a shout out to Brian. I looked at that presentation you did, Brian, on the Amelia Earhart story. Very well done. And very, very interesting. I've followed that story off and on over the years, and it's intriguing. So your knowledge on it is exceptional, and I really enjoyed the presentation. So I'll say 7-3. You guys have a great day, and we'll look for you Thursday, God willing. So I think George signed. John's still there, I think. KZ4B, W4DCS.
Okay, W4DCS and the group KZ4B. Fine business, Doug. Good copy. And Brian, you're just coming in great here with 25 watts. You're almost coming in better than when you run more power. But I'm sure it's just propagation for today. It's really great all the way around. I only have one comment about the dog deal. When I get to my final destination after passing away, I'm going to look around. And if I don't see any dogs for me, I'll know I'm in hell. Because I love dogs. I tell you, they deserve to go to heaven more than we do, by a long shot. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. So, Brian, if you're still in there, take it, and if not, then go to Charlie, KN4R, and the group KZ4B.
Okay, John, very good. KZ4B in the group, KN4R remote. Okay, very good. Well, thank you so much for the reports from up here. It's fun to. It's surely better than nothing to have the remote set up. My wife was the one actually that said, "Can't you control your computer, your radio through your computer?" And I said, "Yes." She said, "You should bring it up here." And she's quietly suffering through this over across the hall here while she sips her morning coffee. So, thank you so much for watching the presentation before your kind comments. The whole Amelia thing is really interesting to me, and the fact that there's 2 expeditions going on now or shortly it increases all the fun with it all. So it'll be interesting to see what they find. So anyway, and I enjoyed it. Y'all but we'll definitely get over to Sevierville. There's a place called it's a gun and knife works place, and I'm trying to think of the name of it, but it's something Mountain. It's really good, and they have they have all sorts of stuff. It's just a crazy place. So anyway, I'll send some pictures. So 73s, and back to you, Charlie. W4MEC in the group.
Smoky Mountain Knife Works.
Yeah, thanks, John. Smoky Mountain Knife Works, I think, but I haven't had enough coffee this morning.
Yeah, very good, John. Make sure you wasn't transmitting. KN4R in the group, W4MEC. I knew John knew what it was there. I was going to give him a chance to respond, but again, he pulled the trigger right on time there. Smoky Mountain Knife Works, yep. Well, two comments, relays and animals in heaven. You got to think that the radio signals is traveling, except in the coax, almost at the speed of light. And you got this mechanical relay. So when you let up on the mic and the relay drops in the transmitter, the signal cuts off, and the RF goes, the last bit of the RF goes shooting out the antenna long before the antenna relay drops back. So I kind of look at it like that. I actually have a problem with this TX1 when if I turn the high voltage off, because everything is manual here. I got an antenna switch. I have to a rotary switch I move by hand, and then hit the plate switch. If I'm too fast and I go turn the transmitter off and quickly flip the antenna switch back over, the DC is still falling off on the oscillator and the driver, and so I get a dying heterodyne until the cap's discharged. So, and let's see. Well, my animal comment. Well, I sort of look at it like this, and I heard this one time on a radio show. It says, God created everything, but he also created people, and we pretty much give him nothing but grief our entire lives in one way or the other. And he created animals that basically do everything he designed them to do without complaint, whether it's to be killed by a lion or to crawl on a beach to the sea. They're doing exactly what he designed them to do, and they don't complain at all. So why wouldn't he kind of treat them a little better than us, huh? Like John and Brian said, I hope all dogs will go to heaven, and cats and fish and rabbits, everything else. It'd be a lot more interesting than just standing around with a bunch of people, I tell you. 7-3 all. We'll see you on Thursday, and hopefully tonight, if I'm here. If I'm here in time, I always check in, but half the time I'm not here. So we'll see you all later. Have a good day. 7-3. W4MEC, shutting down the old Friends Net. Bye-bye.